All right. Hi, everybody. Thank you guys so much for coming today. I am so excited about this opportunity. I'm so excited to have Natalie on board. The purpose of this call is so that hopefully all of you can take something away that will help you be more confident in growing your business and help you achieve your goals. We've had a lot of questions about launch parties and a lot of the social marketing and how to approach our business. And now, in a time where really everyone is relying on social media because people are not getting together, it is an excellent opportunity for us to fine tune our skills and kind of hone in on exactly what we can use, how we can best utilize the tools available to us to grow our businesses. So, without further ado, I am going to pass the mic over to our guest speaker. A little bit of information for you guys. Natalie is a spiritual business coach. She is the host of a podcast, which is wonderful. You should definitely check out called Pachanga and Possibilities. Um, this is a podcast about alternative healing and mysticism. Natalie helps spiritual entrepreneurs who struggle with the business operations and technology so that they can bring their gifts into the world. She provides coaching, courses, and business services through her company, Natalie One Love LLC. She has 20 years of experience in administration, operations, and data analysis. She has a Master of Business degree in entrepreneurship, a Bachelor of Arts degree in liberal studies, and a minor in fine arts and religious studies. She is a certified professional and spiritual coach, angel intuitive healer, shamanic practitioner, Reiki master, and ordained universalist minister. Natalie is also the author and illustrator of the Natalie One Love Planner and two coloring books. I've mentioned that planner to you guys. I use it, it's wonderful. Definitely have to check that out. She currently is here in Plantation, Florida. She's a family woman, a master of many trades, and I just love watching her win in all of her many hats that she wears. So, you guys, when I tell you we're super lucky to be on this call, I mean it. Let's grab our pens, put our thinking caps on, and take in all this awesome information. And we will have an open Q&A at the end. Without further ado, Natalie, I turn it over to you.
Hi, ladies. How is everyone today? I am so excited to be here. I wanted to say first, congratulations on taking this giant leap into your future, into well being, into making a future for your children, to just really wanting to create change in other people. And I want to start off today by answering the questions that you submitted to Lisette ahead of time because I want to make sure I answer everybody's questions. The other thing we're going to touch on today, we're going to answer your questions. We're going to talk about your why in your business, having a niche and the importance of having a niche in your business, what growth means, what to expect now that you're stepping into having your own business and what's required of you and what to expect and overcome kind of those really difficult moments as you're growing your business. So you see me turning paper just because I took notes and it's my agenda. I didn't do a PowerPoint because they're boring. So you're welcome. And then we're going to go. All right. So let's get started. The first question: how do you stay motivated when you feel like quitting? Okay. This is where having your why is really important. And to the point that I recommend like creating a vision board or journaling why you have your why, really getting clear because when you get all those no's around the business, somebody gives you some negative feedback, or you're having a day where your self esteem is on the floor, or it just gets really hard because you're trying to manage life and a side hustle, your why is what's going to keep you really motivated. So, really spend time. And usually, having money as a why is not the most motivating. Like things that motivate us are our purpose, our passion, who we want to help. So if, for example, I'll use Lisette for my case study, right, for everything today. So Lisette wants to help moms. So her, when she's having a bad day, it's thinking about all the moms that she's already helped and all the moms who need her help, who are feeling depressed or having the anxiety, who are having these physical symptoms that she knows are out there, and focusing on them. It's not the why me and this sucks and this is so hard. It's all of those women who really need this product, and you know in your soul that this can help them dramatically. So it's really about taking the focus off yourself and putting it on your why, and having that be something that means for you. If it's your children, or it's a cause like seizures or anything like that, like think of all those other moms who have children who are experiencing seizures, who are desperate and don't know what to do. So in those really difficult moments, that's going to be what's going to get you through, is having a really clear why, and spend time writing it down, really thinking it out, all those things that really mean something to you. An exercise that I invite you to do is to write yourself a letter for those days that you're feeling really down. So the days that you have no motivation, write yourself a letter today, like, but write it on a day that you're like really happy. And on that day, say, dear Lisette, I'm so proud of you for putting all the work that you've put in. And I know it's hard right now, but remember your girls, your little girls, and remember the financial freedom, and remember all the money you have made already, and all the money that there is to be made, and that there's billions of people on this planet. There's more than enough business that is out there. And just write yourself like a pep talk, and then you're going to just put it away. And on those days where you feel like crap, you're going to read that letter to yourself to remind you of who you are and why you're doing this. How do you make your launch party or event sound like something people want to be at? All right. So with this question, I see like a flag, which is, the flag is, why do people want to be at? So that makes me feel like, why do you feel that people don't want to be at something that you're doing already? Is there, it's, you want, automatically, people want to be where you're at because of you and who you are. It's not about the product. It's, they love you and they care about you and they want to support you in whatever endeavor you're starting. So it's not about like keeping them entertained or having it to be salesy or marketing. It's like, I started something really powerful. This has made a huge difference in my life. I want to share this with you. And of course, you want to be at something I'm having. It's kind of shifting your perspective. Like, I am giving you something, an experience that's really positive, and um, and this is my why, and I'm really passionate. And it's, you're doing, I don't want to say you're doing them a favor, like from a cocky place, but you know what I mean? Like, it's, of course, people want to be there because they love and care about you, is what I'm really trying to say. And if you don't feel that way, then there's kind of more of a like worthiness thing going on. Like, why do I feel that people won't want to come to my thing? And so maybe you want to explore that further. How do you market yourself when you don't really have much going on? So with this, then what I invite you to do is start building your calendar and getting busy. And what I mean is, the trick is with marketing is that, don't worry if you don't know anything about marketing. All real marketing is radical empathy. It's communication. It's educating. So when you say like, "Oh, I'm not a salesperson," nobody wants to be a salesperson. You want to be a person who's just likable and passionate and is on a mission to communicate the benefits. You're always telling stories, like always be telling stories. That's the best way. So it's not like, "Oh, look, let me put this product in your face 24/7 and just post the same picture of a tincture every time." That's not going to work. But every time you post, if you tell a story about how it helped you or what you're struggling with, or tell other people's stories, you don't need to have 800 of your own stories. Keep track of other people's stories to market yourself. Start building relationships with the people in your niche. So, for example, in Lisette's case, if she's helping moms, then you're going to join Facebook groups for moms. You're going to join maybe follow the hashtags on Instagram that have to do with moms and whatever their pain point is that you're focusing on. So if they're moms with anxiety and depression, you're going to follow hashtags related to that. Start commenting and join the conversations happening in these groups, because you just want to start building trust. The biggest thing with marketing is you're just building trust with your audience. So they want to buy from you because of you and not necessarily what you have. It's because they know you, they trust you, they like you. And that's really why they say show up online often, go on Facebook Live, Instagram Live, be posting all the time, because you're just building trust with your audience. It's not like, oh, I'm being, if I post too much, it's all about me and people are going to think I'm full of myself. That's not true. You always want to just add value constantly to people's lives. So for every deposit you make, you're going to want to make, not for every deposit, you're going to want to make at least 7 deposits for every withdrawal. So by deposits, I mean an educational post, maybe a Facebook Live where you're sharing a story, a maybe you're sharing a recipe, or you're unboxing something and you're sharing something, or you're just sharing inspiration. Like, for going with Lisette, maybe she's just sharing a post about keeping moms motivated through the difficult times and COVID. Just these little deposits constantly is content for your audience. So again, it's always just be adding value, teaching, educating, inspiring, eliminating fears with whoever your niche market is. Hold free workshops about where you always want to start funneling people into free events. That's another deposit you can make. And then the withdrawals, asking for the sale. So let's say you made all these deposits. Now you can be like, hey, check out this new product. Go to my page. Because yeah, you haven't been selling them. You've been building trust and creating the relationship. So let's say Lisette wants to create a Facebook group for moms who suffer from anxiety and depression. Now you're like corralling your niche market into a community that you're leading, and she can curate experiences for her audience. For example, she can bring somebody on to lead a guided meditation once a week, or she can bring on somebody how to do meal planning when you're really busy, or with the kids and COVID, or different things. And you can start creating content for this niche market. And then you drop your product. Oh, by the way, I do CBD and I can help you with this and I can help you with that. And you start building trust, but you can also start creating these relationships, because it's all building relationships. So yeah, you can curate like that. You can have an Instagram specifically for your niche audience. Okay, and I'm gonna deconstruct the whole niche audience thing a little bit later, when to push and when not to. And I'm gonna say this together with the next one, and how to build excitement without scaring newbies off, and what's the middle point. Don't worry about scaring people. Those who like you are going to stick around. Those who don't are going to leave. And remember, there are already people out there that don't like you. Let's keep it real. There's people out there that don't like you. So leave the haters where they're at. That's fine. Don't worry about upsetting anybody. Again, your North Star is all of those people that you're helping. All of those people, the women that you're going to help with your product, that are hurting, that are suffering in pain. And if that means that somebody's feathers get ruffled because you're standing in your passion and your purpose and you're advocating for this product that has changed your life, do not be apologetic for it. They can unfollow you. Thank you for your time with me, and move on. So don't worry about, and people, and expect it. Know already that there are going to be people that are going to get turned off. And one big thing that people get turned off is that people don't like people who are kind of at a lower vibration. I don't know if I can use that. Okay. I don't know if I can use that terminology here, but that they're not in the mindset of growth. For example, when they see you grow, they get turned off because they're like, she's doing what I want to do. And Thank you, goodbye. Don't worry about them because you're going to start to surround yourself with more people who are about growth and wanting something better for themselves, personal development, and so forth. So don't worry about that. Just be yourself, be passionate, and show up all the time. And you'll start growing an audience because you have to grow a platform somehow. This is going to be especially online. Your audience, now that you can't go out and network, is building a platform online. So that's Instagram, if that's your jam, or Facebook, or maybe even starting a podcast if you have a really good specific niche or passion that you want to weave this into. For example, let's say that you're passionate about, I don't know, yoga or exercise. You can have a whole podcast about these things and then weave in the CBD with interviews and different things. Um, One question: what's an appropriate way to share someone else's story? Just very naturally, like you're telling, always talk like you're talking in conversation. Don't worry about sounding smart. Don't worry about being professional. Now, marketing, everybody wants like the real, raw, uncensored person. So you can just say, hey, this, I ran into this person. I have a friend who had this experience with this product. And this is when I heard that, it did this for me. I thought it was amazing. So you weave like your response to their story and how it moved you. What are your favorite apps or online tools to help grow your business? You can download my Soulpreneur cheat sheet. And on that cheat sheet, it's literally a ginormous list of like the task and what tool to use for that task. And it covers all of your basic business operations. Tips to stay motivated. I would say circle back around your why. Read your letter to yourself to stay motivated. If you like doing vision boards, do a vision board. If you want to do a different kind of vision board, I went to a vision planter class last year and they did a vision board. Instead of sticking all the magazine stuff on a poster board, they put it around a plant pot and then they planted like succulents in it, and then your plant pot was this very alive and organic. It's, I love it because it's green, so it kind of reminds me about money and its growth, so all the metaphor. And then they kind of what is it, Mod Podged it onto the outside of the vase, so that one was a really cute way to keep it on your desk and have something alive. um the next question is reaching out to new people. This is again joining communities online, commenting on other people's stuff in your niche audience, both on Facebook and Instagram. Maybe even you have an audience on LinkedIn because there's groups on there too if you have more of a professional type audience. Eh, Go to these online events. Like if you find a free online event, like go to these events and connect with people and make friends. I've met a bunch of people during the pandemic online by going to different events. There's also professional women's organization online that you can be a part of that have regular events. One that I highly recommend is called Las Comadres. And they started as a female entrepreneur organization in Miami, and now they've transitioned online because of COVID, and now they're nationwide, and they're constantly doing like co-working days and cafecito morning start something. They have like content, like planning your content online. They have sister circles, like different things. So even joining La Comadre in of itself is a good thing. Um, but there's others like that. There's a million other things like that. They're online. Just find where your people are at and join stuff and attend whatever you can attend to start building relationships. Being accepted by or received well by others when reaching out. How they receive you is not your problem. Stand in your passion and in your purpose. And if they like you, great. And if they don't, next. Don't worry about what other people think. Again, stay with your North Star and passionate about what you're doing and why you're doing it, because you have something that can help them. And if they're not ready, don't take it personal. They're just not ready for it. And maybe they'll be ready down the line. Be polite, ask if you can follow up with them, ask when you can follow up. If they're totally turned off, just be like, great, okay, bye, thank you. And don't worry about it. It's okay. Fear of saying the wrong thing. You can't say the wrong thing to the right person. So don't worry about it. Speak from your heart. Always be genuine, be honest with people, share, be vulnerable. Don't worry about saying the wrong thing. Just do your best, because the only way that you'll get good at closing is by failing forward. So you just need to stumble your way like into being good, honestly. That's just the only way. You're not going to wake up being amazing at closing and selling and this and that from one day to the next. You just learn from every little experience, and before you know it, after a few months, you're like, oh, I know how to like start a conversation, and I know how to lead it in this direction, and I know how to overcome these objections, and now I can close, and now I have a bigger team and all these different things. So just don't worry about it. Poquito a poco. Time management. I'm gonna plug my planner here. No, just kidding. So, no, with time management, I'm big about the way I designed my planner, and you don't need my planner to do this. These are just like strategies. Plan your week like on a Sunday night or a Monday morning. Kind of see what are the tasks I have to do from the beginning. If you can plug those tasks every day, so you have like a master task list, and every morning you say, okay, what top 3 things can I do today from this list? And just stick to 3 things. Don't overwhelm yourself. If you're having issues prioritizing, then you can use this focusing question that it's from the book called The One Thing. And the focusing question goes, what is the one thing I can do today that will make everything else easier or unnecessary? And so usually when you say that, and I can, so yeah, so time management, you can block schedule your time. So be careful like how you're approaching the business. Are you approaching it as a hobby, or you're approaching it as a business? Because if you approach it as a hobby, it's going to pay you like a hobby. If you approach it like a business, it's going to pay you like a business. So how much time are you going to put into this to get something out of it? If you do it like por encimita, Mickey Mouse, trickle, whatever, then you're going to get trickles of dollars. So you got to see, take it seriously to really get something out of it, and block schedule your time. If you want to say, okay, I spend 2 hours a day on my business, or an hour every morning, you'll be surprised. Even 30 minutes every day or an hour will make progress. It's about consistency, not doing like a bunch of things at the same time, but just being consistent and showing up day in and day out. A time management tip for social media: I get really overwhelmed with social media, even though I'm pretty on it all the time. Behind the scenes, I get really overwhelmed with it. I'm an empath, I'm a highly sensitive person in HSP. That constant buzz, like it's frenetic energy for me. What I found that helps me a lot is that I use this tool called Planoly. It's an app, and they have a tool online también at planoly.com. And you can plan your posts. So what I've been doing recently is I'll go in on the weekend and plan my posts for the next 7 days. And when you kind of sit for an hour and do that, I start with the pictures. All right, what do I want the pictures to look like? The flow. Okay, when this day I'm going to inspire, this day I'm going to talk about the product, this day I'm going to tell a personal story, this day is a recipe, whatever. But you can plan 7 days. I feel like more than 7 days for me personally is too much. You can post a little picture behind the scenes of whatever, and then go in and write the captions and put in your hashtags. And if you do like 7 days at a time like that, I felt like that really took a lot of stress. And there was nothing better than waking up to like comments and likes because I scheduled them. So I would put them for 7 a.m. every day. And I wake up, I'm like, oh, cool. And there's all these likes and comments and things going on and DMs. I'm like, fabulous. So, tips on how to maintain your viewers entertained. You don't want to entertain them necessarily because you don't want to put on an act. Just have like a good quality video. Yeah, so worry more about adding value than entertaining. Like, what are you going on for? Like, don't be super long-winded and talk for a million hours. I'm telling you that because I'm long-winded. So don't be super long-winded, be really clear, have good sound. One thing that turns people off when they make a video is if the sound's really bad. So have headphones if you can, or your AirPod connected when you do a video so it sounds really good. Have good lighting, don't have crazy background noise. You don't have to worry about how you look because research shows that people really love people that look all disheveled in their videos because you come off like more likable and raw and relatable. So don't worry about getting all dolled up. Yeah, so just be yourself, be vulnerable. Don't worry about entertaining per se. um, Smile. It's really important that you have a niche because when you talk to everybody, you're talking to nobody. So, like, let's say you're in a crowd and you're like, hey, everybody, then nobody really like turns around. But if you're like, hey, you with the black shirt and the brown hair, then that person's going to turn around. Or if you say their name, they're going to turn around. You want to speak to a very small group of people. The more niche you can be, the better. Um, because then your marketing material becomes way easier to write because you know already who you're speaking to. But when you speak to everybody, writing a post or an email is a nightmare because you're like it's hard. You just can't speak to the masses. It doesn't work that way. But if you have in your mind that client avatar, meaning like for example, Lisette, if she's working with moms who suffer from depression and anxiety, then I would say, okay, think specifically of that one friend that you know that fits the bill, that exists in real life. And when you write a post or an email, you're going to imagine that you're writing to her only. And your messaging becomes way clearer and easier to write. And that will take the relief off. And then your marketing material lands easier because when they're scrolling, they're going to be like, oh, wow, this is they're speaking to me. Like I'm a mom who suffers from anxiety and depression and went through X, Y, and Z. Like this is me. And then they'll stop and read this post. But if it's like, oh, CBD is good for you because it stops your pain and this and that, like, okay, that's a million people. But it's like, oh no, I help, let's say, professional dancers recover from injury with CBD. Then they're like, okay, I'm a dancer and I've been injured and I need this, or I'm an athlete and I'm a tennis athlete specifically. And so that's when you get really, really clear and you're not losing business by having a niche. You're getting clear and you're going to get more business. The smaller you go, the better it is, as counterintuitive as that sounds. The sentence that I want you to fill out is I help blank, which is your avatar. So I help, who's this person? I help blank with blank, the pain point. What is their pain point? So they can what? What are their results? So I help blank with blank so they can blank. All right. So the first blank is I help, like, so for Lisette, for example, would be I help moms with anxiety and depression so they can show up better for their children or have enough bandwidth to homeschool or so they can start their business. So what are the results that they're trying to get? Because really they don't want to be educated on like the cannabinoid receptors because very few people are going to be into the science. There is that audience, but it's not everybody. So you want to, the messaging is what are the results they're going to get and for who and what their pain point is. So their pain point is, how is all of this anxiety and depression affecting them as a mom? How is it affecting their day-to-day life? How is it affecting their relationship with their kids, with their spouse, with their work, with their whatever? What are all the debilitating ways that this is showing up in their lives? And then this is what I have that can help you. So then you can create, what is the success, the results look like on the other end. Oh, now I transformed my relationship with my kids because I'm no longer crying all day. Or now I can go to the gym because I feel better about myself or whatever, but be specific about the result and the pain point and who it's for. And this, don't be surprised if this brings up a lot of fear and anxiety and frustration. Some people, it takes months, if not years, to narrow down their niche market. It becomes super terrifying. There's something about narrowing down a niche because it's so counterintuitive that it like sets you into a spiral of like fear because you think you're gonna like miss out on opportunities. Even if it brings you to tears, which it's done that for many people, including myself. I got so frustrated trying to find the niche market that I was in tears in a business coaching program in that module when we got it. It was ridiculous. So I'm giving you permission to get all bent out of shape if this gets you in that space. It's okay, but just start doing the work. One trick around the niche, sometimes, not for everybody, is who were you like 3 to 5 years ago? Who was that person? This old version of you. That's one way that you can kind of narrow down a niche. So, with the growth part, you're starting your business mentally, prepare yourself mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually to be pushed to the edge of your comfort zone and know that that's normal. So, starting a business is going to push you in ways that you don't even know. And it's going to bring up all your insecurities, your self worth, any self worth issues, any self esteem issues. All of that's going to come to the forefront. And you're going to just like, it might slap you in the face and just know that it's normal. Starting a business is meant to put you in a very uncomfortable place many times over and over again. And you will learn about yourself. And that's the beautiful part. The best way to like be on the fast track of personal growth is just start a business. It can be this or whatever, because you have to learn so many things about so many things, including yourself, that you're constantly growing. So just know that every time you're hitting a wall, that you're still moving in the right direction, and to be gentle with yourself, be compassionate with yourself. Know that you're just hitting another block. That's just part of the resilience you need to have and the self growth. Reach out to your upline for support, reach out to each other for support. You're going to have, especially on the bad days, it's okay. Just be like, hey, I'm having a day today that I'm just not believing in myself. Eh, how, can, like, how are you feeling or whatever? Just talk, but know that this is going to push you to your edge and it's okay. You're doing the right thing. So growth happens when you're on the border of chaos and order. So be comfortable with being uncomfortable. And as long as you're in that realm of reality, you will always move forward in life because there are so many people playing it safe and they're stuck in their 9 to 5 and they're terrified to even explore other possibilities. And you're going to be doing things that require bravery and courage, and just practice courageous like vulnerability. You're going to still move forward despite being terrified, and it's okay. So I just want you to remember this moment and hang in there and just ask for help when you need it, and be really compassionate with yourself in those moments, okay? And then the other thing with growth is you also need to read. I recommend reading books about personal development, about business. There's always like the top 10 books or 20 books that people recommend. And then just generic marketing and business. And there's, if you don't like to read, not a problem. Do audiobooks. Hoopla is an app that you can download. You just plug in your Miami-Dade library card information and you can download tons of free audiobooks all the time. I love doing that, and it's free because all these audiobooks are like 15, $25 a pop, and it adds up. If you don't like to read, then check out podcasts about marketing. There's podcasts about even narrower, like email marketing. If you get stuck on something, you can even search podcasts for that topic and see what episodes come out that are educational. So constantly be learning and growing. And the more you do that, the more confident you'll be to show up. So the next best thing after money is having somebody's email address. Why? Because you can constantly reach out to them over and over again, as long as they have you have their email address. The reason why you want email addresses and not necessarily Instagram followers is, let's say the president tomorrow decides to delete Instagram the way he almost deleted TikTok. And there's people who have their businesses wholly only on TikTok. And I'm sure they had a heart attack when the president said, we're going to ban this in the US. And what happens to all of those people? If she didn't have their email addresses, she's out of business. So you always want to funnel people and collect email addresses. So this is something that belongs to you, no matter if Facebook and Instagram disappear or Twitter or YouTube, you have their information and you can say, hey, I pivoted, or hey, I'm doing something, or hey, I have a sale, Black Friday, CBD sale, whatever. But constantly, it's another place where you're constantly communicating with them. And email marketing is a whole other animal. But just at the very least, have their email addresses. And then when you learn about email marketing, you have their email address to learn how to use it in a good way. But just start collecting.
This has been a really, really great call. I want to just say thank you to everybody who's been on here. We've been sitting here for a little bit, at this point, a couple hours. But it is so worth it. We've gotten tremendous golden nuggets on this call. I'm so excited. I'm not really a techie person, Nat, so you just like blew my mind with all of these apps and stuff. And it's going to be so helpful. So you guys, I want to encourage you to utilize the tools. And, I obviously want to say thank you for everything you've brought to the table today, Natalie. This has been absolutely outstanding. I'm so excited.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. You can find me at natalieonelove.com with the number 1. So natalieonelove.com. I'm also Natalie One Love on Instagram. Okay.